1. As part of a reading activity, you asked your 11th grade students to predict what might happen after the following text. After many years a relative took over the house, being certain that the soldier must have died. It was in such a poor state of repair that he did not wish to incur the expense of rebuilding it, so it was let for a nominal rent to the poor people of the district. Thus, if part of it fell down, it was not replaced. Heidi, Chapter 18. From the options below, select the most suitable sentence to complete the paragraph, taking into account the fact that the speaker has been in charge of the house for 15 years. A. Moreover, it was now half in ruins, it still retained something of its former dignity. B. Although it was now half in ruins, it still retained something of its former dignity. C. Moreover, it has always been in ruins, it still retains something of its former dignity. D. Although it has always been in ruins, it still retains something of its former dignity.
Correct answer.
B. Answer the questions 2 to 4 based on the following text. These are the lyrics for one of Elvis Presley's best-known hits. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. When they said you was high class, well, that was just a lie. When they said you was high class, well, that was just a lie. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. 2. You are presenting this song to your students because you are wrapping up some topics you worked on during the week. Some of these topics were: A. Indefinite pronouns, time clauses, and possessive pronouns. B. Definite pronouns, adverbial clauses, and possessive pronouns. C. Indefinite pronouns, time clauses, and possessive adjectives. D. Definite pronouns, adverbial clauses, and possessive adjectives.
Correct answer.
A. 3. The previous song is very suitable for you to present in an intermediate class if what you want to show your students is that they A. Should become aware of grammar and use. B. Need to know the importance of vocabulary. C. Should recognize how the whole text has a single intention. D. Need to see how real use often differs from standard.
Correct answer.
D. For, while listening to the whole song, it is not easy for your intermediate students to understand the lyrics. You start paraphrasing the song, and after they get a general idea of its literal meaning, you start eliciting situations in which they could direct this kind of message to a person. You do this because you want them to realize that A. The main idea of this text functions as a description. B. The intention of the text is to insult someone. C. The vocabulary used can be the appropriated in a complaint. D. The expressions used are typical of jargon language.
Correct answer.
B. 5. In regards to vocabulary, you notice that your students learn new words relatively quickly, but they also forget them quickly. To help them remember, you propose a technique that can be useful for them. You tell them to A. Look up any word that they want to remember. B. Write down the translation of all new words. C. Write a sample sentence of their own. D. Memorize the words by knowing how they are pronounced.
Correct answer.
C. 6. You notice your students have problems with the use of the word like when they want to ask for an opinion. You tell them that the most suitable question is, A. What do you look like? B. What are you like? C. How do you like it? D. What do you like?
Correct answer.
C. 7. One of your students was involved in an embarrassing and confusing situation. Now she is trying to write a letter to her friend because she wants to explain what happened, but she is not quite sure about how to organize her ideas. Help her to put the first paragraph of the letter in order, which contains the following statements. 1. I want you to know that he is a good friend of mine, and that you are the only person I love. 2. I hope you believe me and don't break up with me. 3. I am very sorry you got upset yesterday when you saw me with Jose. 4. You know that I wouldn't do anything to hurt you. 8. 4, 1, 2, 3. B. 4, 2, 3, 1. C. 3, 1, 4, 2. D. 3, 2, 1, 4.
Correct answer.
C. 8. While listening for the first time, you ask your students to answer a general question. However, some of them find this activity difficult because it is an authentic radio broadcast, so you tell them that one strategy for them to follow is to A. Pay attention to the stress and intonation. B. Ignore the language not related to the task. C. Try to understand everything they hear. D. Copy as much as they can.
Correct answer.
B. 9. You ask your students to report what they understood from the listening, but they stay quiet. That makes you think that you made a mistake in following the principles of the communicative approach, because before doing the listening you should have A. Given them a detailed description of what they would listen to. B. Explained the structures they would hear and provided similar examples. C. Checked to see if they had some knowledge of English literature. D. Briefly given them a general idea of what they were about to hear.
Correct answer.
D. 10. Now that you are ready to start the exercise, the first proverb you mention is a stitch in time saves 9. After a few tries they are able to figure out what the proverb means. Then you ask which of the following situations this proverb can be stated in and by whom. A. When complaining by the speaker. B. When warning by the receiver. C. When advising by the speaker. D. When requesting by the receiver.
Correct answer.
C.